Welcome, I'll be reacting to Outlander Season 2, Episode 9. This is not a market substitute, please support the original.
If it went according to plan, all would meet up in Perth to join the Prince's army.
It's not going to go according to plan, is it?
Took us longer than foreseen coming through Corriaric.
Is she pregnant again?
For the days raiding cattle.
Milady, my lord!
Yeah.
Fergus, laddie. You look fit. Murtagh's been looking after you well, then.
No. It's been horrible. He forced me to mend his socks and to fetch his meals.
Yeah, he's trying to educate the lad in a finer place of travelling in the Highlands.
This song is beautiful. So haunting.
Claire, I washed my mouth out with whiskey.
Oh, they're
Preparation
back!
for a big bus from you, eh?
Anger.
Carriage.
Oh, good to see some things haven't changed. Well, where's Willie? Something happened.
Tell them.
The lad, he went and got himself married. It's an Irish lass. Sailed off to America with the bride's family.
We'll know, mate.
Good for him. I should have known he would just come. Stay away from Claire, though.
Almost fit.
Pledge our hearts and swords to the glorious cause.
What? Just the three of you?
He didn't question the lad's strength in numbers when they stormed Wentworth prison, in the very teeth of over 200 redcoats.
There's 400 out of it.
They're likely 5.
Their hearts are larger and stronger than 10 redcoats.
Maybe so, but they're not ready for combat as they stand.
They've plenty of time to teach that on the march.
Well, they didn't march. They walk, they stroll, they caper about, but they didn't march. Now, this is good ground to train upon. So, I've decided to stay here for a time.
Now, form lines. 2. When you hear this. 2 lines. One directly next to the other.
Learn how to cue. Jamie's like, now do you understand why they need training?
Together. Then you learn how to move. And if you can manage the particulars of that, we'll put a sword in your hand and teach you to kill redcoats. But until then, form up!
Let's get down to business to defeat the British.
You're only! What is the matter with you? You got shite in your ear? Attention! Right as!
She's one of the few people here who's really seen war. All these lads, they haven't. She knows how bad it can get.
We were just playing.
I asked you to get water for my lord, did I not?
Yes, but I was just...
I don't care. Just come with me.
Scottish broadsword.
Aim for the shoulders if you're trying to take his head off.
Oh, like that?
Even every
Turn your body fully into
highly
it.
trained soldier has a weakness. I can Charles Stewart well enough.
Aye, good. Because more clans are joining our cause every day, and their leaders are jockeying for position within his inner council.
We've more pressing concerns than worrying about securing a seat at the prince's table.
Jamie is in this to protect his people and Scotland. Dougal is in this for glory. They're going to start clashing more before the end.
Well, that's what we think you Yanks have for chow every day. Giant steaks, baked potatoes ground in butter, tomatoes the size of cricket balls, and vats of chocolate ice cream.
Don't I wish?
We just get K rations, pretending to be real food.
Ah, K
We call it
rations.
shit on a shingle. It's Private Max Lucas.
Nice to meet you.
They're both gonna die, aren't they?
Separated from your unit.
Yes, ma'am. Ever since D-Day.
Ah,
There's quite a lot of that going around.
this is great. I mean, not that they're probably going to be, but this interaction.
What kind of food is this trying to be?
Black pudding.
Well, that, Private Lucas, is trying to be black pudding.
Then what do you call what we call pudding?
Pudding. The British and Americans, 2 people separated by common language.
This is going to get worse for her the closer they get to the actual war.
I'll make sure you're safe.
I'm fine, Jamie. Really.
She is not fine.
About face! Together! By the left! Quick! Now!
They're gonna get slaughtered.
I saw what a modern, well-trained army can do. Oh, it's a pretty sight at first. See them all marching together in their neat rows and columns, music, playing. Then they fired the first volley.
Yeah.
First, you see the flash of metal.
Squares. I think they were using them back then.
The musket balls come tearing across the field like a sheet of metal rain. Takes more than courage to beat an army like that.
Takes discipline.
Takes discipline. Together.
They needed to hear that.
Stand! You take them by surprise, and you put terror in their hearts. I imagine 1,000 of us screaming, descending on the pretty redcoats lined up in a row.
This is exactly what happened. Jamie is trying to change things to save them.
I came what these men will face, and I know how to prepare them for it. You don't. And these are my men. But if you choose to fight with Clan Fraser,
You do it our way.
without objection,
He's struggling. Needs help. But, you know, Jamie, he's too proud to ask.
Are you really trying to talk to her right now? After what you did?
He knows about your offer. And he knows why I was forced to make the decision I did.
And he took no issue with it.
None.
He is a better man than I.
Yes, he is.
Truer words have never been spoken. Your inability to be selfless. Because you suffer from narcissism. If you don't know what that is, then let me tell you. The term comes from Greek mythology. Narcissus fell in love with his own reflection and died rather than pull himself away to eat.
And Echo fell in love with him, poor thing.
Stop trying to convince everyone of your patriotism. It's tedious.
Oh, they're too slow. The Redcoats would have gotten off 3 rounds by now.
Aye. And a British trooper can get off 3 shots a minute.
Can we get Sharp in here? Can he train them? He's really good at training people for this.
No ramrod. Just a gentle tap of the butt to send it down. You save 20 seconds. Bite, paw, spit, tap, aim.
You noticed Claire's been out of sorts lately.
She has PTSD and I think she might be pregnant again. Looks like trench foot.
This is unacceptable. Could easily get trench foot. Take off your other boot. Take it off.
Claire!
Make sure to dry your boots. Don't go to sleep in your socks. If your feet begin to swell, then coat them in foot powder.
She lost all those boys, didn't she? Oh, Claire, PTSD is getting worse. She is surrounded by triggers, too.
Being a soldier, I don't see any action.
It's because they're not ready for action. They need more training.
On a broad job you're doing of that, eh? I just led 10 armed men into your camp.
True. You did. And it'll not happen again.
And what's to prevent it?
You are. You and your men are now in charge of sentry duty for the entire encampment.
Sentry duty is so difficult because if you make one mistake, things like this happen. But it's one of the most boring things to do ever. I've stood watch a couple of times during the night, and you're just standing around, pacing, looking at darkness, trying to see something for hours, and it's cold and it's wet and there's nothing to do. You can't lean on anything, you can't read. You just have to be awake and alert, looking at nothing. You're the person who can save hundreds of lives if you do spot something in time. And yet it is tough to do.
One, fire!
Breathe. Concentrate on something small. Claire.
Appreciate you letting us hit your ride, man.
At least she was wearing a helmet. Was being the word. Stay down. Stay down.
They'll see us as soon as we try to cross the road.
I'll go. I'm a woman. They won't be able to stop
You
me.
won't get 5 yards.
I think they just got spotted.
I can see the crowds on the left. I'll try to circle around to the right.
He's not coming back.
He's on top!
Claire, stay down!
Ma'am, are you okay? Can you hear me? Ma'am! Ma'am!
She has shell shock.
I should have tried to get him.
If you had, you would be dead.
All I can hear is Max Lucas crying out for his mother in the dead of night. I'll know that the people out there dying alone are people I know. People I love.
Whatever happens, you'll never be alone again.
Because you're going back through those stones.
Why are you creeping around at night? Addressed to a British officer. He's a spy.
I saw the light of your fires, and when I came to investigate, I recognized you as Red Jamie, the unprincipled and traitorous rebel.
I'm afraid I'm not prepared to kill you. Just yet.
Who do you march with?
There's nothing you can do that will make me talk.
I resisted your advances earlier. But if you let the boy go free...
I could, Cora. I could ravish her. Huh?
Oh! I will tell you whatever you wish.
Good.
My name is William Gray. 200 infantry, traveling to Dunbar to join General Cope's army.
200, that's doable.
And where are these men you speak of presently?
In camp some 3 miles to the west.
This is the perfect opportunity to test out the training. They'll have to act quickly, though.
I give you your life. I hope you use it well.
I owe you my life. I should greatly prefer not to. But since you have forced the gift upon me, I must regard it as a debt of honor. I should hope to discharge that debt in the future.
This is going to come up later. I don't know how, but it will.
It was our unshielded fires.
He's setting a good example.
Not you. You'll remain here. Sentry duty.
I stay behind.
That's the greatest punishment he could ever give. You're gonna stay here and protect the car.
All right, Alex, I got a big job for you. I want you to stay here and protect the car.
I could do that.
Protect the car.
Let's hope their sentries are just as bored. Yeah, disable the cannon first. I would get rid of the horses next.
What are these?
Trophies of war. Hell of a lot of good 16 gallopers will do General Cope. Stuck out in the woods.
That was good. He gave them a bit of confidence as they left.
Do the honor. Right ahead. And announce our presence to His Royal Highness, Prince Charles Edward Stuart.
As you say.
I was not expecting a training montage episode, but I also see why that would be really necessary, because getting into kind of brawls at the pub is not the same thing as being a soldier, which Jamie knows. So I appreciate the fact that he said, let's stop, let's make sure that they're ready before joining up with the prince, instead of just heading straight there and hoping for the best. It was also interesting seeing that clash of tactics. The old school, let's paint ourselves up and just charge and hope that they get scared and run away. And you can't use charge while yelling as a tactic. The advantages that they have in Scotland are likely the ability to stop them from receiving supplies. So you want to hit all their supply trains, cut them off from local villages, and the rough terrain. If you can find the right location for a battle, that's another advantage. There are locations where things like squares don't work as well, but it's really hard to break that front rank fires, kneels, is reloading while the second rank fires. The front rank is then ready to fire, the rear rank is reloading. Just doom, 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 just constant. That efficiency is what Jamie was trying to aim for. And mix it in with the Scottish warrior and the ability to get in close and just smash through the enemy. Jamie's hybrid method is intriguing. The problem is he'd have to do that for the entire Scottish kind of, it's not really an army, it's a bunch of clans kind of vaguely coming together. If the prince had experience in war or was listening to people who did, they might have a shot, but not from the prince we've seen so far. There is no way. He's just gonna be like, God is on our side. It doesn't matter what we do. Newsflash, you still have to do the work. But it's so frustrating because I really think that Jamie's method has promise, but they needed more time and he needs to be the one in charge. Or someone like him, who is able to mesh these modern tactics with the ancient, raw energy. I think this is probably my favorite episode of season 2 so far. As much as I enjoyed the gowns and so forth in Paris, this is what I live for. Back in Scotland, tactical discussions. Can't wait for next episode.